nerds, we are back in your host for another episode of the When It Is You podcast. It's that time of year again. We continue Spooktober. We have given you this month, what did we give them? What did we give them last time? What did we
Silent Hill F.
Silent Hill F, oh my god. That wasn't even that long ago. It wasn't like 2 weeks ago or something. And now we're back in your host to do some, let me get this name correct, Alex. Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly.
Yeah, or Project Zero. Actually, I believe is the canon name, right? Because it's what it's called in Japan as well as over here.
What's the project and why is it Zero? Do you have the information? Nope.
No, Fatal Frame kind of speaks for itself. Project Zero says not very much. Than you don't have any projects going on.
Have you played other Fatal Frame games?
I've played some of the first one. Found it utterly terrifying. Not massively, no. This is kind of for those who can see my t-shirt, it kind of works as sort of almost like not a redo, but it's not linked to the first game in any way. It's just kind of like, let's just do that again because it didn't sell very well and do it like way better in every way.
I actually took a screenshot. I was looking, I was like, oh, how much? Because I was looking up some, because I needed help. I need someone to hold my hand with these endings. So I was looking up some YouTube videos and reading some of the endings, and the guy was like, "Oh, it's quite a hard game to find, even though it's sold the best of all three. But people that have it tend not to want to let go of it." And I was like, "Is that true? Like, usually the more popular a game is, the easier it is to get a hold of quite cheaply." So I looked it up, and it seemed to ring true. I mean, granted, I only looked on Vinted. But there was only one copy of Fatal Frame 2 on the PS2. There was a couple Wii copies, but no Xbox copies.
Okay.
And I found
Xbox is hardest to get.
One copy
and
of
most
the
expensive.
PS2 copy that had all three games. So Fatal Frame.
Oh,
2,
nice.
3. And do you want to give me a ballpark guess? I want to know if I was seeing something that was outrageous or not.
Well, I can't remember what I paid for my Fatal Frame 2. I don't know if I got it. Did I get it when we went to Glasgow last year?
Oh, you may have done.
On the Xbox. I'm pretty sure it was about 50 odd. I think I sold my PS2 version for, or maybe it was more than 50 odd. Maybe it was like 60 something, and I sold the PS2 version for 50. All three of them, I've no idea what you'd be paying for that on PS2. 100 quid?
£499 they wanted for
Oh, that's disgusting.
And I've just looked up on eBay. Fatal Frame 2 on PS.
That's the real horror of all of this.
Is so there's two here. One is 73.47. Buy it now, and the other one seems to be the same. I don't know if this is maybe the American version. It's got a black PS2 case instead of a blue one, and it's £135. Oh yeah, it's an NTSC version. That'll be why that costs more. Yeah, here we go. And then we've got Fatal Frame 0, 1, 2, 3 Mask. So they've got. I'm just going to look at the pictures here because that naming convention is confusing me. They've got Fatal Frame 1, 2, and 3 on PS2, and they've got 3 different Fatal Frame games that seem to be Japanese on Wii.
Mask of the Lunar Eclipse is effectively number 4. Yeah. Then there's Maiden of the Blackwater, which I think came out on Wii U first, but is also available on other platforms now as well. I think I actually have that on Xbox Series X now. That's the 5th one. And then, obviously, I believe the next one will be the remake of 2.
Which actually, I'm kind of interested. Anyway, this one.
I'm so hyped for that.
Is £125. So yeah, £499 was outrageous, but it's not a cheap game to get.
No,
over £100 for the Xbox version. So emulators are your friends, folks. If you want to play along with this.
I felt that the Xbox version had some real issues visually. It had a lot of screen tearing on it. It was not, and considering a lot of this game is involving switching the camera angles and using a camera to flash bright lights, it was very noticeable screen tearing a lot of the time. Doesn't run 60 either, as far as I could tell. So I think definitely the PS2 emulated version that you played is the way to go there.
Although I will say you had your in-camera control options were better than mine.
So you could or you couldn't change.
I couldn't. So the
left and
right
stick
was Y X. It was the X.
So the left stick was looking around and the right stick was moving forwards and backwards,
That's the
which
best
is
way to describe it. Yeah, it was inverted.
idiotic.
Was it the old
Yeah.
southpaw?
Southpaw, yeah. Yeah, I was able to change out. In fact, the Xbox version actually has an entire first-person mode, which I did play for about 4 seconds, and the pop-in was unacceptable immediately. So I just thought, I'm not even doing this for a curio anymore. It's just shit.
Not worth it.
Utter shit. Speaking of shit, though, because you asked me before we started how I was, and I said,
yes.
you said, are you all right? And I said no, but I tell you on the pod. So yesterday, in the early hours of the morning, I went down to get myself and my wife a cup of tea. I think I must have spilt something somewhere, so I wiped it up, leant towards the bin to put the kitchen roll away, had a little sneeze while I was in that sort of half bent position, tweaked something in my back and thought, fucking hell, that wasn't nice. Went upstairs, took a shit. By the time it was time to stand up and wipe my ass, well, stand up and flush the toilet or whatever, I was basically crying in agony. I apparently have torn a muscle in my back from sneezing. From sneezing, yeah. Oh mate, honestly, yesterday I couldn't even walk. I'm dosed up on cocodamol. I've had a physio around this morning. I've been off work for 2 days. Seriously, every single step, every lean I was yelping in pain. My dog had no idea what the fuck was going on. She just kept standing and looking at me like, "What, are you all right? What is happening?" My 3-year-old just will not accept that I can't lift her up and chuck her around anymore for a bit. I even said to her today, I was like, "Yeah, Daddy can't be like playing silly games for a bit while his back hurts because he's getting old." And she went, "You're not old." I feel it. Honestly, it's so painful. Like it's right above my glutes. It's fucking horrible.
It's such a terrible way to do it. It wasn't even heroic.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think I tweak it like every now and again. I was playing squash the other week and like right near the end of the game, I hit a shot and I felt my back go and thought, oh, I should probably stop playing, but I carried on. Yeah, my posture's shit. So that's probably part of it. But I mean, it's not been the worst to have a couple of days off work when I don't feel sick.
Yeah.
And I can't move, so I don't have any responsibilities that I now have to deal with, and I could just sit and play Fatal Frame 2 and Yooka-Laylee when I needed to come down from it.
Hell yeah.
Love that game. So good. Cassie loves it as well. But yeah, I'm in bad shape. I'm in bad shape right now. I'm going to sit very still and try and not be very animated during this podcast because it's not a good idea to do that. I was going to work from home, but my boss just wouldn't let me for some reason. He just said, "Doesn't sound like you're going to be able to work properly, mate. So just take a few days off."
Good.
Like, okay.
That's nice. Good boss.
Yeah. Yeah. How are you? Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I've just been
good. You're in good physical health, so you should be all right.
Yeah, I'm fine. Annie and I rented a cottage sort of in the countryside outside of Dundee, so we just had a few days away, which was pretty good. We had the dog with us though, and because he's getting a bit old, he can't really get out and about.
Sneeze without tweaking his back. Yeah, I get it.
Stage, yeah. So I don't know. It was a lot of lazing about, which was, I guess, it was nice, but yeah, I'm not much of a laser abouter, so I'm kind of ready. I was ready to be back.
I want to get back off this holiday so I can actually do active things again.
It was funny. We took Toby away thinking, "Oh, it'll be a nice little break for him," and he absolutely hated it the whole time. He just did not want to be there. He was like, "When are we going home? I don't want to be in this house. I don't know it. It smells funny. Take me home." Yeah, and so now he's home again. He's absolutely delighted. So expensive.
A good time was had by all
for everyone. Yeah, just look forward to being home.
Well, you've got another one of those coming up next month with me, so that's to look forward to. As long as I can walk by then. I need to ask you something else in a minute.
There may be ball pit spoilers coming up, so just if you're listening.
I don't know how you finished that game, by the way. Have you got to get every lad? Has every lad got to beat the moon?
No, because I haven't done that. I've done it with 6 or
I've
8,
got about
and I got credits.
6 or 8 lads like flying around outside it. Maybe I don't know.
Credits. So
Okay.
you'll be moving in on it. I think
I've got at least 6 because I've done 3. I've beaten 3 times, so I've got 6.
Okay. Yeah, maybe the next one you'll get it. The problem is I think the last character that you unlock in that game has ruined the game for me. I think since I unlocked that character, I've manually done about 2 rounds. I keep putting it on and then walking away and playing it like a clicker.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Which one are we talking about? Because that obviously was not the last one I got.
The final character I unlocked was the guy that plays the game for you, just plays the game for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't the last one I unlocked. The last one I unlocked was what's the mad scientist guy? What's his one?
No, I
think he's awesome, by the way.
Backwards gravity or something like that.
Yeah, he's brilliant. Yeah, that's right. They all just go to the top of the screen following gravity, so you can basically, like, if you get a thing that does that, like critical damage on the front of them, it's just an absolute melt of anyone in your way. No, but I got that. Yeah, I saw that guy who plays the game for you, and I haven't played it with him once because I just thought, like, surely this just ruins the game.
It does. It's now ruined the game for me. I think I've got.
Because is he any good? Does he actually do well?
No, the AI is rubbish. But I think by the point I'd gotten, I was so leveled up that it was just sort of brute forcing it. So I've now completed every level with everyone except the last level. Except the last level where I've done it with, I think, maybe half of the characters. But again, most of that is me doing other things and putting a run on and walking away, which has kind of ruined it.
Yeah. Well, that was an interesting idea for him to put that in at the end. I did find that a bit odd.
Yeah. But other than that, I've been absolutely loving that game. I've definitely got my money's worth.
Oh, it's amazing.
It is.
Oh, yeah, it's game of the year, I think, for me at the moment.
So far.
I kind of don't hate that it's pretty much going to be over until he does some more levels or something. Because I really love it, but the thought of continually playing it forever, I don't know if that's healthy.
No, and
I want to play other stuff.
Yeah, and I've loved it like hard for probably a short period of time, which is probably the right way for me to play that game. Whereas like a game like Balatro, I've loved less hard over a longer period of time, and it feels more of a game that I can sort of dip in and out of. Whereas this one, I'm not sure. I think when it goes down, it'll go down. When it gets put down,
I think so. This has had the Vampire Survivors effect on me, and I am assuming you too. Where it's been my life for about 2 weeks, and then it's probably going to stop.
Yeah, there'll be a hard stop. Like it was today I saw credits because I put on a run while I was packing my bags to come home. And then I was like, I saw that he had finished, so I like walked him into the spaceship, and then I walked off again, and I came back and I was like, I'm sure, have I just not been paying attention? But I'm sure like stuff's happening just now that I don't remember happening. And then it went through and then started rolling credits, and I was like, oh no, I've not seen this before.
So do you pick the upgrades in that one? For him?
No. When he plays for you, he does everything. So you can just set it.
Because there is a character that picks the upgrades for you as well, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah, which I also haven't touched because I thought, well, that's the best bit of the fucking game.
Yeah.
Why would I let you do that?
Yeah. Love that game. I'm sure we'll come back up if we do a game of the year.
Well, I think our game of the year podcast this year might have to be more around sort of, we make a personal like top 5 each or something of what we've actually played this year, because I know we've both played quite a lot of games this year, but haven't been podcast games.
Yeah,
so we've played fewer games for the pod for it to work the way we normally do.
We do.
I think so.
We have some categories in there. We obviously will speak about the games we played for the podcast, and then we'll have one list in there.
I think that's what I was thinking of too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
speaking of stuff that we've been doing on our own, it's spooky season. We're doing a spooky podcast. Have you watched some spooky shit?
I actually haven't.
This year?
Really let myself down this year. I think
Well, there's still time. It's not Halloween till Friday.
I put out
that's the time of recording.
Post on Blue Sky. And
Yeah, you did. I was hoping you'd have done some of that stuff because
did I
I
actually
think
watch
Kelsey
it?
recommended Talk to Me, and I'm going to have a go on that.
Yeah,
Um,
I've sort of written it down as a little list, but I can't remember if I put this post because I was wanting some ideas or that I had watched something
yeah,
and
you did. You said you were thinking about watching Alien Earth, and then he said something about it
yeah,
having a good end or
yes,
something.
yes, because I got one of those funky fire sticks, and
Have you now? What, like
yes,
a, you know,
yeah, one of those
it,
ones, yeah. So I
bloody brilliant. So you can watch anything you want. Well, you need to watch
yep,
what I've watched then. You need to watch Bring Her Back and Weapons. That's what you have to watch.
bring her back and weapons. Yeah, I ostensibly got it
Yeah.
because to watch all the rugby I want to watch, I would have to have
How did you get it? Did you do it yourself or did you buy it from some gangster?
Joe gave me a man's mobile number, so I bought my own Fire Stick, and then you text this man saying I want to fix my broken Fire
I'd like
Stick.
four loaves of bread from the
Yeah,
bakery, please.
and
Yeah.
then he basically talks you through how to set it up, and then you transfer him
Oh,
fifty
my guy
bucks.
did it all for me.
Oh, did he?
I had to pay 150 for mine.
Oh, nice. Well, not
Is it
nice.
Mag Club you've got on yours?
No, mine's something else. I'll send you a picture of it after
Okay.
this because I can't quite remember what it is. It's like,
Well, we'll have plenty of time to talk about this when
yeah,
we're in prison together after putting this on the
yeah.
airwaves. This admittance of criminality.
What, the repair of a broken fire stick? I don't know. Surely that's
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah. I only bought four loaves of bread. I don't know what you're on about.
yes,
Yeah.
okay, that's right. So yes,
Weapons is
Alien
Weapons was
Earth.
the first one
Already
I
watched.
watched.
Okay,
Yeah. Weapons is it's crazy, kind of like that one's quite dark. It's got some dark comedy in it as well as pretty gross horror. But Bring Her Back was affecting. It was
I didn't
fucking horrible film. I was watching that one
bring her
while I
back.
was sitting
Is
waiting.
okay.
Yeah, I was watching that film while I was waiting for 111 to call me back, which I carried on waiting for until 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning until my wife told me to come to bed and just hope that I get woken up anyway because I got an infected hangnail in my left
You
index
are
finger.
a broken man.
Yeah. I don't for those watching, like the skin has now sort of peeled its way off on the video there.
Lovely.
But yeah, so I was watching something with it must have been Taskmaster, and I thought it had got a bit like I get quite a few hangnails because I probably don't cut them properly and I pick them or whatever. And I thought, oh, that looks a bit fat. That's weird. So I gave it a bit of a squeeze and some pus came out, and I was like, oh, I've never seen that before. So I googled it, and it said like you should if there's pus and swelling, you should immediately see your GP because they'll probably have to drain it. So I was like, oh, fucking hell, I'm not going to get like a staph infection or something if I don't deal with this now, am I? So I called 111 who told me to wait for 6 hours by the phone because I did need to see an out of hours GP at 10 o'clock. So I forced myself awake until 4 in the morning and then called them back and like, I've been awake 6 hours. What is going on? Why haven't you called me back? And then they didn't actually call me till like 7:30 in the morning and just sent some antibiotics over to Boots anyway. I don't know what the point of any of that was. And by the time I got to Boots, the prescription request was corrupted. So then I had to call 111 again, who then said, well, we're going to have to get another GP to talk to you because we can't do anything. So they'll have to assess you again. So that'll be within 2 hours. Luckily, they sorted the system out in Boots and got my prescription because I didn't get a call from a GP for about 5 more hours to be like, so what's wrong with you then? I was like, I don't need you anymore, mate. Just don't bother. I've got the drugs. Go away.
Yeah, get lost. Yeah, so you're recommending Bring Her Back.
Bring Her Back is fucking it's so bleak. It's so horrible, but it's brilliant. Like really, really good. Those two are two of the best horror films I've seen in a very, very long time. I am gonna watch there's an Instagram account that I watch, probably one where I get all these spooky t-shirts from and shit, and he was recommending like horror films that you've never heard of or like underrated ones, and there's one called Intruder, which is on Amazon Prime, which has Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi in it. Sam Raimi, of course, the director of Evil Dead, Bruce Campbell, the star of it. But it basically seems to be about, it's like a 1989 movie, which is about like basically a bloke who comes into a supermarket in America that's open all hours for them to like put the stock on the shelves, and there's just a bloke in there who just goes and starts murdering everybody. Looks really fucking fun and silly because I've watched two very modern, serious, like horrible films. I want to watch something that's like got some horrible practical gore effects. So
Yeah.
I'm going to watch Intruder on Halloween.
Excellent.
I think.
Yeah, that's a good shout. So yeah, I was looking at also. I think I might try bring her back.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at Kelsey's suggestions. It follows.
That's about STDs basically.
It follows.
That's the allegory for that.
I didn't know there was a Smile.
That's all right though.
I've only seen Smile.
I haven't seen either of them.
And I have seen. I went to the cinema to see Talk to Me, and that is pretty good.
Okay, I will. That's what I was planning to watch. I tried to narrow it down. I had like 4 in a list. I had that, X, and then there's the sequel to X, which I can't remember what it's called, but it's about the girl from it, something like Pearl or something. And then there was Long Legs, but the Long Legs like user reviews are nowhere near as good as the critic reviews. So I was going to go with Talk to Me because people seem to be a bit more mixed on Long Legs, even though it seemed interesting because of the old nice goalkeeping, because of the old Nicolas Cage in it.
Oh, is it got okay? I'm a bit disappointed that Alien Earth starts badly, but I suppose is up.
What is it about?
Is
it about aliens or Earth?
So it's set on Earth, I think, and it's obviously in the Alien universe, and it's a TV show instead of a movie. That's all I know about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess that franchise is incredibly up and down. So the fact that it's maybe not top tier is not a surprise, I suppose.
Oh, sorry, it is actually related to the Alien franchise.
Yeah. It is.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched enough of the Alien movies, really.
You must have seen them. No, was it just me that
I haven't seen? Yeah, so I don't think I've ever actually watched Alien 3. I've watched Alien, Aliens, Prometheus, Alien. What was the one that came after that?
There's Alien
Resurrection.
Covenant. I
haven't seen that.
Alien Covenant's like the Prometheus sequel.
Sequel, right? Yeah, I've seen that.
And
then I haven't seen the most 2 recent ones they've done, which was Alien Romulus and yeah. So there's like I definitely want to watch all of them.
Let's have a look. Alien movies. Let's have a quick. So just to give you a quick synopsis. So Alien Earth is a science fiction television. Blah, 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 blah. It's the first series in the Alien franchise, television series in the Alien franchise, and it's set 2 years before the events of the 1979 film. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, so there's stuff in here that I don't even understand. I don't even recognize, honestly. So there's the movies. You've got Alien. You've seen that. Everyone's seen that. Aliens. You've seen that. Alien 3. Mm-hmm. Then there's Alien Resurrection. Then Prometheus. Then Covenant. Then Romulus. And then there's crossover films: Alien versus Predator and Alien versus Predator Requiem, which I've seen both of those, but I've
seen the first Alien versus Predator.
I sort of don't. I sort of pretend they're not a thing.
It's so shit.
And then there's some short films that I'm not even going to go into.
Okay, so it's only,
and obviously Alien Earth and Alien Isolation is a game.
Well, I've certainly seen that. I've seen like 24 hours of that bloody thing. I haven't watched Prey either.
Osiris that's on Amazon Prime that seems to be linked to Alien.
Skateboard shoe in it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a slight tangent. You don't see those. You don't see any of those brands anymore, do you? You know, when we were like into Tony Hawk, right? You had like Etnies. You had, I mean, DC. They're probably still just about DC going.
Vans,
had Osiris. You had Adio, the whole Bam Margera thing. Like they're all effectively been killed off by Vans or something. Like all you see is Vans and Converse now.
Vans have just gobbled up everything.
Yeah, skate shoe variety is a thing of the past.
Maybe we just don't. I don't know anything about skate culture these days. Like who's good? What is it like these days?
No, I don't know. What else did I used to buy? I used to buy Volcom. No, Volcom's more surfing. I used to buy the Blink-182 things, Atticus and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
I swear they had another maker shoes. It wasn't Atticus.
There was a bit of a crossover, wasn't there? With snowboarding, because I remember Quicksilver being quite a popular brand around my neck of the woods.
Yeah. Absolutely. Billabong.
Billabong.
Billabong was like everybody's introduction to skate clothes and
Yeah,
surfwear, wasn't
yeah,
it? It's
yeah.
like get some nice cheap Billabong shirts and
What
you move on to the hard stuff.
what skate
That's when you get the
brand?
hookups after that.
Yeah. What skate brand do you think the town of Hell's, what's it called? What's the town called again? Oh no, I tried to do a segue and
God's
missed it.
God's Village.
God's Village or something like that. Apparently the name
What skate
changes
brand would they
depending
be
on
into?
what your translation is, what your local translation is, the name of the town.
The Wii version calls it something totally different. And I was like, it's like Mikami Village, not that at all, but it's something like that. Mikamino Village or something.
Mikami Village. Right, right.
Yeah, Shinji
Next,
Mikami Village, right on the nose.
Miyamoto Mansion at the top of the hill. And you go in
Yeah.
there, it's just booze everywhere. That would be a take in that game with this game,
Well,
wouldn't it?
yeah, certainly would. And we already know they ripped the booze off in Silent Hill F, so you know
Yeah.
none of that in this one. The ghosts will just keep looking at you
This game
as
was
they slowly walk towards you.
this game was excellent at giving me like fearful goosebumps without being like
Oh yeah.
terrifying at any moment. Yeah, like that. There's several moments of it. It would be mostly you just see, but that bit right at the beginning where it's funny, but simultaneously gave me like literal goosebumps when she's speaking to her sister and a hand comes on her shoulder.
Oh, that's
And then
brilliant.
her hand,
That's
then
so
the sister
clever.
just walks past. Oh my god, that's
Yeah, I love that bit. That's one of the main notes I wrote was that it's just chef's kiss horror, that bit. I never finished the first game because I found it far too scary. And apparently that was one of the things that they got in feedback. Tecmo got feedback on it because it didn't sell very well. But the first game, apparently one of the things they got was people just found it too scary to finish it. And that certainly rang true for me. But apparently that game also has even worse camera controls and doesn't give you unlimited of the basic ammo. So I don't know if I'm desperate to go back to that at any point in time soon.
No. Although in fairness, I don't know if I ever used the basic ammo in the game that I can think of.
I tried not to. I found myself doing that more in the Wii version because it was easy to change the ammo while you were holding the camera up. So I kept doing it by accident and realizing after I'd done absolutely no damage for half a ghost that I'd been using the shit ammo.
I think overall, yeah, this is definitely not a perfect game.
No.
But I think it is, if it's a game that's shooting to be scary, atmospheric, intriguing. I'm not sure it delivers on much of the intrigue as it wraps up.
Mm.
However,
Yeah.
it certainly makes you wonder what's happening. And for the most part, I was reading nearly all of the like, found notes and things like that. The only thing I sort of gave up doing was listening to the radio, because the radio it became apparent to me that unless it was like for a specific puzzle or to help you progress the game, it was mostly nonsense. It was just someone whispering, "Don't kill me," or "Kill me," or that was everything else though was pretty meaningful.
Did you? So remind me, because I couldn't actually figure it out. Is there subtitles? Was there subtitles on the PS2 one for the radio things, or was there not? Were you just having to try and make out the fucking noise?
Have to figure out what the
they clearly added that to the Xbox version because it was just indecipherable at times on the PS2 one. That was madness. The Wii version, of course, plays it through the Wii's 10p speaker.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
I will just briefly get onto the Wii version before we get onto anything else, because I almost decided to just keep playing it. I mean, again, yesterday I was absolutely stuck in one position, which apparently was bad for me and making it worse, but whatever. So I was thinking about just continually playing the Wii one, but after a while, the controls in it were so shite. I just felt like it would serve absolutely no purpose for me to.
I hope they were good in theory, like using the camera with that.
Me too.
Remote should be cool.
Yeah, and they've also made the entire game over the shoulder, like Resi 4. They clearly copied that as an idea of, right, okay, this is how it's a total remake. I actually thought it was just going to be a Wii port, but hey, you can use the Wii remote to aim the camera. But it's actually way more than that. It's completely like all new graphics, all new character models for the two girls who they have made noticeably bustier for absolutely no reason. Apparently the director decided they were too and I quote, cute in the first one. So they gave him a bit of tits, and of course, there's a mechanic in
They
the
are scared.
game
They're
where
not.
you
They're like school. They look like they're about
they're not well they
12.
were in yeah, in the original version they are. In the Wii version, I guess they've grown up a bit.
Okay.
They've grown a few adult sized bumps. Um, so they have a mechanic in the Wii version where, as you're picking up items, you have to hold the A button down to touch things. There's a touch mechanic, and you hold it down, and Mia will slowly move her hand towards the item, and that is for every item, and a lot of doors, and a lot of like investigative things, like peeking through shit. The reason for that is because every now and again, completely randomly, a ghost hand can just grab you and do damage to you if you don't let go of the A button in time. It is so fast and so out of nowhere that I found myself having to just tap it after a while because
Jesus.
I could never actually get it right unless I was doing that. If I was just holding and trying to time it, I'd lose every time. So that made the game probably about twice as long because every item you're picking up, you're doing this really slow, tense grab motion.
Oh my god.
It feels like she runs slower than she does in the PS2 version, and she runs slow.
Yeah.
You can't even waddle faster with Mayu in the Wii version. It's just the sprint button does nothing. But the worst crime that the Wii version one commits, which is the reason I just stopped playing it. In fact, the second worst crime is the slowdown, and it's disgraceful. There was 3 ghosts coming at me at one point, and it went worse than half speed. It's not like dropping frames; it just was going so slow. It would take like 5 minutes to get your thing all the way up. It was just so bad. But the worst thing is that it doesn't give you the camera controls as a pointer. It's like purely motion based. So you move your Wii remote up to aim up, and it will like swing the camera on a delay as if you've basically pulled the camera with the remote upwards and then pulled it back down again. So it's not like you just have a pointer and I aim there and it's there. It's like I'll aim there and that'll make the camera swing up there, and I'll aim down and it will swing. It was fucking terrible.
Oh, weird.
Like, I don't understand why it has to be on purpose. Obviously, they thought if you can just aim the camera 1-to-1 with a pointer, like in the Resi 4 Wii version, it'd be too easy or something. I don't know, but I could not believe that was the decision that they made with that piece of kit. It was almost unplayable. It was so hard to aim, and every time one of those ghosts would pop up, the friendly, the Casper friendly ghosts, and you've got to like take a shot to get some points. It would aim the camera fucking miles off, and I'd try and aim it, and it would just swing it way past I could not get any accuracy. And I thought this was supposed to be the most accurate version. I don't get it. So
Is it the best looking
at that
version
point, I
of
just
the 3?
probably. I mean, a lot of the time you're looking at Mio's arse, which because you're behind her all the time, and it's on the Wii. So I was playing this on my Wii U because I'm pretty sure, although the Wii U has like a Wii mode that you could load up, I think they actually just released the Wii version on Wii U to download directly. So it seemingly doesn't load up the Wii mode. It actually boots it from the Wii U menu. So I probably should have played it in Dolphin to actually get some decent graphics. There was there was no anti-aliasing, but that's a Nintendo thing and always has been. Even apparently on the Switch 1 version of the Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 that just came out like last month, it's still jagged edges all over the fucking place. Nintendo just don't know how to do it. So yeah, I mean, the character models are better. The cutscenes look nicer, but I don't think the game actually looks that bad in general. It has a very obvious, consistent style to it, where it's very dark. Hence, that's what the point of the village is, I guess. Lots of foggy stuff going on, so there's not a massive color palette to look at. But I think for what it's trying to do, it already looks pretty damn good anyway. I really like PS2 aesthetics for games these days. I've really grown to like them.
In the same way that like PS1 aesthetics seem to have, in like the N64 era to an extent, like seems to have aged quite badly in my opinion.
Agreed. Yeah.
The PS2 era is starting to look quite nice. in some ways, especially. I mean, we've said this before ad nauseum on podcast. It's best in games that have gone for a style rather than let's try
Yeah,
and look as realistic as we can, because they're never going to age well, right? But the only I'd say, like, because I sort of 99% agree with you. I think artistically it's great. It's incredibly atmospheric, and for kind of the power it's playing with, it's just incredibly creepy going around. And I will say also the sound design in this game is
oh
incredible
mate.
for its time. Like, it's even when the bit that kept getting me is when you're aiming down sights of your camera. Every time you move, you can hear your footsteps, and it's trying to figure out, it's like,
Oh
are
yeah.
those my footsteps? It kept getting me. But yeah, the only thing I wish is, so often I couldn't find doors because I just kept walking past them because they just look like part of the wall a lot of the time to me. But
Mm.
that's the one complaint I've got with it, really.
Um, well, yeah, the sound design, the noise that you get from the build up of the spirit power, that's a horrible noise. That never ceased to stop making me feel slightly uncomfortable. And it was really funny because I didn't actually twig what was going on, but I was playing it the other day in the evening, and Rach kept walking in and being like, "Are you snoring in here?" I was like, "No, I'm awake. I'm clearly awake." She was like, "Oh, I can't." And then she came back in, like when she was going to bed. She was like, "I'm still hearing that snore. Is Cola asleep in here?" I was like, "Cola's not in here." And it must have been the camera noise that she must have thought that was like snoring. Um, they're missing stuff though, like the I, I I think the camera angles, the fixed camera angles in this game, at times they're like a little bit too showy. There's like a lot of sort of directorial flair about them, and that's actually why I love fixed camera angles, because they can frame so many
Yep.
aspects of like one area to give you like different feelings in it
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. I just think it just allows the director of a game to show you so much of what they want
Yeah.
to be brought to the player, like so far, like almost at rapid speed. This game kind of like, it really likes a low shot, and it really likes a wide shot, like a super wide angle outward shot, and I think they are really cool. But the biggest problem I had is that although it's like really nice and there's some really like artistic ones in there, it does it so much, and sometimes the contrast between the angles is so stark that I found this game really disorientating all the time. And I was checking the map way more than I usually do, which is fucking loads. If I play an old school Resi game, I'm always checking the map to make sure I'm going in the right direction. But this time, I found myself just getting twisted around, not helped by the shitty tank controls, which I'll let you talk about in a second.
Well, it constantly what's the break the rule? The is it the 180 rule? You just
Yeah, the
constantly do
Y,
that. Yeah.
the Y thing. Yeah, yeah, and it would show you something like twinkling at one angle, and then the next angle will be so
Then
wildly different. It'd be like, where did that twinkling thing
yeah,
go?
yeah, exactly.
It was really funny because speaking of the controls, like Cassie was watching me play this for some reason. I'm a terrible father. I apologize to all those listening. Um, she likes spooky things and she likes ghosts, and she was watching it a couple of times, and because of the way that like this game's controls, they're not tank controls. There is a tank controls option if you change it to 3D controls, but they were the worst I've ever experienced in my life, because backwards was I can't really explain how bad they are. They just don't work correctly. So you're playing more of like a whatever angle you can see on the screen, point the stick in that direction that you think it should be, and it will go that way, which I don't like. Forwards should always be forwards. It just isn't in this game.
Yeah.
But she watched me play some of the Xbox version, and then she came back later to watch me play the Wii version. And she was like, "Oh, Daddy, can you do that thing again where you keep saying, 'Oh, stop turning around the wrong way, stop turning the wrong way'?" And I went, "Well, no, this one's changed it. It's over the shoulder now. She's always going the right way on this one. Sorry to disappoint you that you can't laugh at me flipping this girl backwards to run the wrong way when trying to run from a ghost." But they have, I guess, fixed it. But what are your thoughts on that? the overall
No, I
controls
agree
and
with you.
angles of
I think
camera and everything.
I was going to say I'd say 75% got used to it by the end of the game. So you kind of get on with
Yeah,
it, but it's so imperfect that I don't think there is getting any fully used to it. Like so, I suppose, and again we've spoken about this because we've played Resi games before on podcasts. There are there are several benefits to tank controls, but for me, one of the main benefits of it is that it means that when the the game changes its camera direction, the movement of the character stays consistent. And
yes,
that is not true for this game
no,
because if you're holding, and even the sort of Resident Evil 1 remake that was on GameCube that we covered for this podcast as well, that sort of did away with the traditional tank controls in that way, the movement again would stay consistent. So if you're holding a direction to go a certain way and then the camera angle would flip, if you kept holding that direction, the game's controls would stay with you until you'd sort of reset and then it would sort of flip to match.
exactly,
So
exactly.
it was wildly inconsistent, and but then and again I agree with you. Like some of this game is incredibly atmospheric, and the camera angles often play a big part of that. But I think there are also periods where that is to the detriment of the game. So there are several boss fights, especially and there's like a shrine room where you've got a boss fight where you're fighting two children in a room that's got a shrine in it, and the camera angle flip is right in the middle of the room, and it flips right on itself to
Mm.
different angles that you can't see the whole room. So you're having this boss fight where you're trying to run away from perhaps contact or an attack from an enemy. You then trickle over into the next camera angle zone in that room, and it'll flip on you completely. And then because the controls don't work, and then so like not only the controls aren't working properly, so you start running in the wrong direction, potentially back towards the enemy. It
Yeah,
disorientates you in a way because you don't actually know where the enemy is. So yeah, it sort of gets in a
and half
certain
the time the
way.
enemy's disappearing and going into the walls anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. It never got to the point where it annoyed me enough that I was like, I wish I wasn't playing this. But it was
Oh
certainly it
yeah,
was
yeah.
certainly irritating and had been done a lot better by this point in other games.
That is it had been done better in arguably the first Resident Evil
Yeah,
game,
exactly.
like the very first attempt.
Hmm.
I think Silent Hill, Silent Hill 2 has fixed camera
Hmm.
angles, but never ever had this problem in that game. It's just, yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get what they were going for, and I certainly don't get why the tank controls that you can switch to just don't work the way tank controls are supposed to. I
Yeah.
think the problem I had is that if you play Resident Evil and you have tank controls where forward is forward, backwards will make them step backwards.
Hmm.
This game had backwards where they would flip 180. So I was never able to get used to that of like, I'm going to hold forwards. And yes, it is going to keep me moving forwards no matter what the angle is. But if I just flick back, she's going to do a 180 when I don't want that. I want
Hmm.
to back
Yep.
away and
Yep.
then turn
Yep.
like a tank. There was no way to backstep in that from what I could tell. The Wii one added like a C button thing where you could like make her strafe with it.
Weird.
So it was like Resi 4 tank controls again. So you're still having to run and then stop and then turn and then run. But you could hold the C button and she would very slowly strafe left and right. But it's not better. I think that the remake should hopefully fix that problem completely.
Yeah.
I kind of hope they go with the fixed camera angles
Yep.
rather
I'd
than
agree.
just another Resi 4 ripoff. But that they did that in 2012 on the Wii makes me think they probably will do that. And we have seen with the Resi remakes that that can still be very, very tense and scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think either way, as long as they nail the controls and they make the camera like actually work or at least move quickly enough or accurately enough, then I think that I may have had a problem with my Xbox controller. I've got one of those retro fighters. It might just be that being shit. Because when I said to you, oh, I found that if you click in the right stick, it moves the thing quicker. I think that was probably just the lack of reactivity on my controller.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't really know. I've not had any problems with it before, but it is not an official first party Xbox controller, so it could have been that. But Yeah, it's a shame really because I think the camera and the concept behind it and having that as a weapon is really really cool.
Yeah.
I think that's the coolest thing
Mhm.
about these games. What was your thoughts on using the camera to fight ghosts?
It's certainly novel,
Yeah,
and it's not.
it's Pokemon Snap and this basically, isn't it?
It's a good way of. There's a lot of games, especially in horror. Some things I think that they often do well is create a sense of vulnerability in the character. Obviously, like um, Silent Hill F begins like this and it doesn't finish like this. But like
Yes.
at the very often when you have encounters in the game, you're not the strongest thing in the room, and you're sort of
Mhm.
there to try and figure out and sort of muddle through by the seat of your pants. I know ostensibly the camera works much like a gun would work, but it is different enough to feel fresh and vulnerable. Like, so you're walking through these areas and you feel like you're naked in terms of things that you can do, to the point that like I often, and I say this to you every time we play a horror game, especially of these sort of ilks, my brain will always, and I think it's part of the thing, the part of the problem I had with Alien Isolation as well, like many of the problems that were David problems rather than the game problem, is that my sort of brain seems to have been taught to stand and fight in these video games rather than just run.
Yeah.
You like, whenever you watch me play Resident Evil games, you're like, just run, just run, just run, because I always try and stand and fight when actually what the game I should be doing is running away. I didn't really have that problem in this game very often. Because I just, my first instinct was to run away from the ghost, which I think means
Oh, okay.
it means it did its job.
Yeah. I think 1v1 the ghosts don't often cause much of an issue.
Not really, apart from the, is it the
It's just when they
mourners?
overwhelm you.
There's this like the slow, is it the mourners? What are they called?
But the mourners are the ones with like the things over their eyes, and then you've got like the priests who've got like
Yeah, I
they're the
think
ones who
it's the
like
the
big stick.
mourners gave me real bother. Like I could never figure out what their sort of flashy red moment was, so I was always trying to just chip damage them for some reason,
Okay.
and I was often getting caught with their what do you call it? Like their swinging attacks. They'd do like 4 hits
Oh
instead of
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The other thing, I guess, that made this, in talking about the camera mechanics that you were just asking about, that made this really interesting is what we've just touched on there, is that each enemy type
Absolutely.
had its own unique, almost, I'm not going to say it because it's such a cliche, but yeah, each enemy type had its unique sort of way to attack it. And every time you encountered them, you had to sort of figure out what the enemy's sort of weak point is not the right word, but sort of weak position perhaps would be the right
Yeah,
one.
because they weren't even you couldn't even really attack them through certain
Yeah.
animations and certain things. It was there would be one specific one that would open them up for a for a
big
photo.
big old damage for a photo. Yeah, really enjoyed that.
Yeah, the risk reward of like the fatal frame. So as you were saying, the little flashy red bit, which is obviously the most damaging shot. That being usually when they're just about to land an attack on you.
Mhm.
That waiting for that to happen always felt like suitably tense and risky, especially if you don't catch the camera or they somehow moved out of the way, because there were some towards the later parts of the game where they would open themselves up for this flashing attack, but right as that was a viable option, they would kind of like attack low down to
Yeah,
sort of get out of your
yeah.
camera frame, so you'd have to quickly like flick down or otherwise you're gonna miss them and then take damage. Thank god they had that little thing towards the end where you could press a button to flash the enemy with the camera to
Slow
get
them
them off
down.
you,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
which was always doable just by smashing the shutter button as quickly as possible. Like you didn't have to time it properly, which felt nice. It's not a parry mechanic, it's just a panic mechanic.
I did mostly enjoy it though. I liked I liked that they had to sort of reload each picture, and I also came to appreciate the sort of risk reward that towards the end of the game. Certainly, I had to monitor how much film I had in my camera,
I was
because
really running out by the
yeah,
end.
and there was quite often I'd be like trying to fight an enemy, and it would allow you to like click and take the picture, but just nothing was happening. I'm just, why is this not working?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially if you've upgraded your camera by that point. So
mhm.
I'd maxed out every single one of the main camera facets, and most of the upgrades I was using I'd got really high level. But when I started running out of ammo and I'm having to use the generic like basic bitch camera film, it was still doing like 13 damage per shot, and I thought, oh, this is definitely trying desperately not to overpower the player, that's for sure.
What did you think when they took the camera off you? I even sort of found that bit nice and scary
Thought that was
because it was the thing that you were you sort of use it as well. At least I did use it as an emotional crutch, and then they just whip it away from you. You just got to run for
Yeah,
your life for like 20 minutes.
from a person who's going to instantly kill you with
And it
one
makes you
hit as
go
well.
back the way you came as well, which is like absolute terror for me. So you get away from the thing, and then you realize you've got to go back the way you came.
Go get it, yeah,
Yeah.
again, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was at the end of like a long night's play for me, and that's when I said to you, I text you like, "Has there ever been a better time to turn this off and go to bed and come back tomorrow moment
Yeah.
than oh, I've just lost the camera at the beginning of chapter 7. That's the end of this for tonight."
Can I ask one? I don't know if this is a problem with the game or not. It's just something I was conscious of while I was playing it. I think if this is not a game that you can chip at. It's a game that has to be like your soul game. Like, i.e., like, like if you were playing it and you got to a point, it's why I always tried to stop playing at the end of a chapter, because if
Yes,
you forgot what you were doing, I've got no idea how you would figure out what you were doing. Like once you pick the controller up again. I feel like if you got halfway through that game, forgot what you were doing, picked up your controller to play, I'd be like, well, that's it now. I need to
you had
stop.
that right
Yeah, had
because
to
you came back to it and you were just like looking through guides to try and figure out what was the
where
most
it
recent
was.
thing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
extremely opaque. Is that of its era? Is that of its
yeah,
genre?
I wrote that in my notes actually because I think it's one of the game's strongest points is that it
It
does a
is.
lot with very little.
Yep.
The town itself, you're basically going in about the village, 3 or 4 different houses, and then the small village surrounding it. And it's got a lot of these Metroidvania, Resident Evil style elements where you're backtracking with newer equipment later
Yep.
on or keys and things. The Wii version, when you got a key, it would then just put that key in front of a door on the map, because I think again they
Okay.
realized that there are times when this game is so hands off that for me it does become something of a problem, and I'm sure that you're going to be with me when I say that for the last couple of chapters I just had a guide and was
Hmm.
like I was getting a bit too tired of the game seemingly only starting to progress for me when I'd given up and gone back, and that happened too often. Like I would have exhausted something in an area that I was in, and thought to myself, I have no fucking idea what I've got to do
Hmm.
now. I'm so lost. I'm just going to walk out the front door, and then walking out the door to leave would then kick the game back into action. And I
I
just
had
thought, like,
that
I
exact
kind of wish that
moment
was more obvious.
around the probably the exact moment that it was the exact moment that I had to pick the guide up to figure out what was happening. There was a bit where I was walking around a house, and it's a bit where you're trying to find your sister who goes over the bridge into a house being followed by a ghost or
Yes,
following a ghost, and you
and it
try and
locks
follow her
it.
and it's locked, and then you go back round. So I was
Yeah,
in that house walking around, and there was these like random chests around the building. I was like, oh, they look like something. You go up to them and you just couldn't interact with them, or it would say, oh, it's locked tight, and then you'd go away.
yeah, that's it.
And then it was only because I must have missed one room or one thing that I was meant to pick up. And as soon as I picked that up, I then had to go back around and re-interact with all the things that I was interacting with. And that happens a few times where, like you're saying, like something will just be locked off until you hit this invisible wall that, or you cross this
Yeah.
invisible threshold, and then it'll start unlocking things, and it'll unlock things that were previously closed off to you, that I just think in a way that were a bit silly. And again, that happened again later on where I had just missed one thing, because I thought I was texting you about it. There was a bit where you've got to find a crack in a wall and take a picture of a ghost, which then instigates this thing where he walks around, says something, and then leaves, which unlocks the door. I had forgotten to pick up one thing, or I had missed one thing, and the ghost just wasn't there. And then I picked up this one thing, which then kickstarted a whole bunch of other things that I hadn't done yet, like the ghosts girls. There's a boss fight in a corridor that just I had been going through that corridor again and again and again, no ghosts until I'd
Little
picked up this.
dolls.
It's like two
Is it the dolls?
sisters. It's when you're going around like opening like hideaways under the floor, and the girls like in there. One of the girls is in there, or you open a cupboard
Mm.
and she's in there. But I
Yeah,
think
I think
you're
that's.
picking up doll parts.
Oh, yeah. I know the one you mean.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I can't remember what her name is now.
and yeah, it just like I don't know, little stuff like that. So like, there was a couple of times where the mission or the next part of the game, it would just be like a passing statement by the main character, and it was never repeated again.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
tuned out or weren't paying attention at that moment, you would just have no idea what you were supposed to do. And there's no way to then refigure out. Like, even if it's had a
Yeah, there
menu,
could be.
it's like, go find your sister or something. Like, that would help.
Yeah, or just a journal. Like
Yeah.
some of these games used to have these kinds of things in it where they'd like kind of write down at least what happened up to
Yeah.
that point that you could check back to.
I sort of
Because when you, as you
I
said, when you're listening to
appreciated
just fucking stones in a radio
that you
that's all
can't make
garbled
out.
and there's not even subtitles, and that's supposed to be helping you,
But some of those
or
stones
it's
were key, that held key information that you had to know to progress.
yeah, they did, and the key information for a lot of the progression has probably been, if you've explored correctly, has been shown to you already.
If you're
So as you
fully
just said,
engaged, nobody
yeah,
speaks to you. Like, and for one point, I was sitting playing, and Annie just waltzed in and started speaking during a cutscene, and I missed the entire cutscene. So I would have, because I tried to pause it and then skipped it by accident, so it
oh
was all gone.
god, yeah. Yeah, I couldn't. Could I do that in mine? Could I pause the cutscenes? I'm not sure I could. I think I probably had that same worry of don't come in and talk to
Yeah,
me while this is going on. But like the thing that got me that was the boxes that you were just talking about with the three different parts of the dolls in it, because you've seen them all already,
mm-hmm.
but they mean nothing effectively at one point, and you're supposed to just sort of discern from the fact that she says something about, oh, this box, yeah, it's shut fast, it looks interesting or whatever, that those are the three markers for your mission points after you have to put this doll back together. But it's telling you that they're shut tight, and there's no reason that they're open other than the fact that you're going to get attacked by that
Yeah.
girl
There's
who's
no
been sat next
in-game
to him.
reason for you to not be able to
Yeah,
interact with those bits.
you just have almost had to have made notes to yourself to come back and look at them later, or drawn a parallel that, oh, is there three of those things? So I need three doll parts. So, but it's really like obscure. And of course, I think the camera angles in this game do a great job of kind of directing you towards like items that you need. And
Yeah.
another key sort of backup plan that this game gives you that the original Resi games didn't give you is that you've got the camera that allows you to go first person. So you've always got that to properly look around a room. But yeah, you're having to tie the knots together so much on your own
In a
through a
specific
lot
order. So you may be,
in
I
a specific,
sometimes
yeah.
feel like you may be tying these knots together, but if you're not doing it in the order as intended, you might get thrown off and confused because you're like, oh, well, that's not it. I've tried that. When actually you just hadn't tried it at the right time.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's really nicely interconnected. It's really cleverly
Mm-hmm.
made with all these Metroidvania elements to it. And like I
Yep.
said, it does so much with such a relatively small space for this kind
I
of thing. I
love
mean, I
that
guess
about horror
the
games.
mansion is,
The
yeah,
way
me
that
too.
and I assume this is partly a cost thing because traditionally horror games don't sell as well as AAA big budget games. So you've got a diminished budget, and one way you can do that is by reusing assets. So if you create a sort of area in which you allow the player to operate within, you can create a thing like I speak about this all the time, where the area or the region or the ship or the building or the house that you're in becomes a character in its own right, and horror does that better than perhaps anything else, probably for those reasons, but doesn't make it less true.
Yeah, I quite like how understated everything was in this game as well. Like it's if you compare it to Silent Hill F, they are quite similar in terms of the sort of setting that you're going to be looking at. But I felt that this one just felt like so real
I
in
felt
terms of like
Silent
all the
Hill
houses
F.
do look kind of similar.
Yes.
There's no obvious like it's not like the Resident Evil sort of mansions where you've got like these crazy
These
different, like here's a
wild
giant
things,
piano
yeah.
room. Here's a room with a giant chessboard in it and a moving bookcase. Like none of that shit was going on here. Everything was all quite similar and understated the way that a normal house would be.
Yes.
That it's like an interesting way of designing the game, but also a way that will make things quite difficult to navigate if it didn't have a map that literally told you the name of every single room on
That
it,
was a
which I guess
lifesaver.
was quite helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Certainly when reading a guide and it being like get your way
Go
back
to
to
the
the
kimono room.
yeah, or the sliding doors
Yeah.
room version 2 or whatever it is. Yeah. What do you think? So yeah, let's get back to the story. I guess that's probably the next,
The only
the
thing I
last
wanted to
main bit
mention that
that
I've
we've got to
written
talk
down in my
about. Oh yeah, go
notes
on.
is: do you think I don't know why I got stuck on this, but the way in which the character opens doors was a nod or up two fingers to Resident Evil. Do you know how in a
Um,
Resident Evil game it'll go black and then it'll show you the door opening and then you'll be in a different
yeah.
area? This one it sort of pauses because it's obviously loading. Then you see the girl open the door, and then she's standing in front of the door, and then you get to walk through the door and it works. Because did you ever notice if you open the door and then walk away, it stops and reloads the scene again?
Oh no,
So
I did do that a
the
few
action of
times.
her opening the door is a hidden loading screen, and it's
Yeah.
unloading the area behind you that you're still standing in.
Oh, I see. Right, right, right. Yeah, because it kept getting me that I forget that I'd had to move through the door. I expected her to always walk through the door herself, but she never does.
No,
So I was just
so
like,
I
oh shit, yeah, that's me. Sorry, I've got to go forwards.
a couple of times I took like a step back, and the game did not like me taking a step back before walking through the door. So because then it would just sort of stop and reload, and then the door would be closed again, and I'd have to do the door opening animation again.
Yeah. I just imagine having done that when you've had to go
Yeah,
really slowly and
I
hold the
know.
A button down and might lose. And the worst thing was, is it would like, I'd get in a fight with a ghost and it would like kick my ass a little bit because the controls are so shit. I'd finally defeat this ghost having spaffed like 2 health items away or whatever. And the ghost would drop an item. I'd go to pick the item up and I'd get caught by a ghost hand, like right after as my from my reward. Like, come on. Then waste another health item. Oh, fuck that Wii version, honestly. Um, yeah, the story. I haven't actually
Yeah,
written down what the story is, but I think it's not too wild a story to kind of figure out. You these two girls,
no,
well, you control one of a set of twins. You are Mio with her sister Mayu, who from some sort of childhood accident, she's got like a fucked up leg, so she can't walk properly,
yeah,
or at least not without looking like she's pooed her pants. Um, they're going back to this this area that they had lots of nice times with when they were kids because there's some sort of dam project and it's going to flood it, which is ridiculous.
yes, they're building a
um
dam.
yeah. So then it becomes nighttime and then it emerges that there's this is actually a haunted village that was the scene of a massacre, and it is shrouded in darkness, and people, it had gone vanished off the map. No one knew what had happened to it. It lures people there, and then all the people that were members of the village, they are all kind of trapped there as spirits, thanks to a failed ritual where they tried to close the gate to hell by having one set of twins murder the other and then throw them down a big hole in the ground.
Yeah,
The reason that failed is because a little lad who you meet in this game, I guess in ghost form, who's locked up in a storage shed, helped one of them escape. So they just fucking hanged the one that was left and chucked her in the hole, and it didn't
it
work.
didn't work.
So then the one they chucked in the hole came back to life, well, came out of the grave or the hole with the help of an outsider, or was it a kusabi, which is sort of like a backup method for the ritual, where if it fails you can try using an outsider, but that also didn't work. So her and the ghost came out and massacred everybody in the village, and you are now sort of playing the almost reincarnation of those two initial twins, because the spirits of the village are going to try and
That's
reenact
right.
the ritual with you and with Mayo and Mio to actually free themselves, to actually undo the stuff that they got wrong the first time around. Seems to affect Mayu a lot more than Mio, who just basically becomes possessed by the ghost of Sai, who is the one who did the
Yeah,
massacre in the first place, and effectively just walks to all the places that the ritual people want her to go to throughout the game in some sort of daze. Annoyingly, keeps getting herself like trapped in places that then forces your character Mio to have to do a lot of stuff in order to get her free from it, only to go back and she's never there where she's been locked up in
she's just
any of the
wandered
times you
off.
do it. She's always just got out on her own and fucked off somewhere else. And then, spoiler alerts now for anyone wanting to play at the end of the game, certainly on the normal version, you eventually find your way to the ritual site. Mio, your character, becomes slightly possessed as well as Mayu, who then begs for her to kill her. So your character just kills her sister, but they are in the pit and free themselves. And then she turns into a lovely butterfly and you're watching the end credits, a lovely little song play while your character runs crying through the woods after her dead sister's butterfly and apologizing for killing her, and then it ends. Unless you play the hard mode, where you then get to fight the ghost of Sai and free your sister from the ritual.
Yeah.
However, apparently, because doing that it requires her to look into the hellish abyss, she gets blinded forever.
She's just blind.
The part of this weird ending to the game, which is so bleak, it may be based on the fact that the director Makoto Shibata
Killed his sister?
said to PlayStation Blog, no, but he dreamt about this. So he said, this is a quote from him, right? This is hilarious. This is in 2013, I think, when they put it on PSN. And he said, the storyline is based on a dream I had after the first game concluded. Thinking back about it, I recall it being a complete dream in many ways. The dream was scary, magical, and traumatic, and it had a perfect plot, even with a title and a structured ending. Thus, it was simply a case of how to interpret the dream and recreate it as a game. One may notice a slight difference in what the true meaning of the story concludes when playing the game. The more times you play through it, the more different outcomes you'll feel every time as a result. This is actually a reflection of what happened when I was trying to figure out the meanings behind the dream I had mentioned earlier on. So he just dreamt it. I love the fact that he gave it a title in his dream that he could somehow remember.
Yeah.
It's a true artist's dream, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
That's wild, isn't it?
Yeah. I hope he was running about with a camera in his dream as well, just snapping ghosts.
I suppose he was, yeah.
I
don't think I missed anything there, did I?
Slightly unsettling that you realise after finishing the game that the red butterflies that you've been or the crimson butterflies that you've been following around as a sort of semi-guide are dead twins, which is wild. And also
because she gets like a sort of a mark on her neck, doesn't she? A red butterfly is like I guess symbol of her sacrifice sort of thing.
The mark of being strangled looks like a butterfly, so there you go. And the boy.
Well, that's the one who did the strangling, isn't it? She gets the mark there, maybe because she is the strangler. She just gets branded with it for the rest of her life.
So the boy that you spoke about as well. The reason he tries to help them escape is because he is a twin and part of a failed ritual as well, in which he killed his sister, which is the one.
I think it was his. Was it his? Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know why that one failed. But yeah, so that's why he helped
the video
Yai of the Yai Sai twin group. He helped her escape the village. So they just locked him up in a store cupboard forever.
The video I watched didn't seem to make much sense in that regard, but it says the reason his ritual failed is because him and his sister cared about each other too much. So it didn't work properly.
Right, okay.
And then there's something about
pretty sure Miyu and Mayu care for each other quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care for the fact that Mayu keeps fucking standing in doorways and blocking me off every time she's walking behind me, but Miyu seems to care about her.
The younger twin has also got to always kill the older twin. That's the order it needs to go in.
Because they actually see the second born as the stronger one. Oh, yeah.
Because they were able to wait and let the weaker one be born first.
Yeah, I wonder if that's based on anything Japanese people actually believe.
It must be.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is controversial.
Before we go on, actually, in the Wii version, they have English accents. Everybody's English in the remake of that for some reason, and it's shit. It's really bad. Do you think it's bad in this game? Just
my light experience of Japanese games is they absolutely love an English accent in translations. Try to think of
maybe it's more of a modern thing.
Across, there's a lot of Dragon.
Pretty sure Ghost of Tsushima, they're all English accents.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest does.
Fire Emblem loves an English accent.
Dark Souls.
Yeah. They just must think
everyone's English in Dark Souls. Creepy. Yeah, but the PS2 version, they were all American voices, and they are better than the remake ones by a long way.
What, even better? Even the boy, his voice acting is absolutely awful.
I mean, honestly, you should hear the Wii version. It's so much worse. You didn't even think it could get worse, but it is utterly terrible.
The this for me, story wise, is very much a case of the journey is better than the destination. So I sort of enjoyed the journey, and then when I found out what the sort of resolution was, I was like, "Oh, that's weird," and then it sort of made like
Like, oh,
that
right.
is really odd.
That was all for nothing then, wasn't it?
Yeah, the boss fight is odd. The when you
Yeah,
go underground,
you fight the Kasabi, don't you? So you
yeah.
fight the Kasabi was basically the researcher whose notes that you're reading about the ritual as you
Oh, is
play through
that
the
who that
game.
was? Right. Okay. I thought it was the.
Because he keeps writing notes of like, they keep talking to me about her ritual they're going to try. They put me in a nice room though. I'm glad they're being so hospitable towards me. I wonder what's happening tomorrow. Um, so yeah, they're the ones. He's the one you keep seeing sort of like strung up towards the end. He gets they attacked him. So he's the boss that you fight at the end of the game. On the normal mode, you fight him and then kill your sister. Whereas on the hard mode, you fight him and then fight the ghost of Sai, who used the ghost. So that Sai and the researcher are the two that massacred the entire town, because that's where they talk about this lone survivor woman, and you can hear her laugh ringing out across the whatever. That's obviously that was the repentance was what they dubbed that massacre.
Yeah, it was odd. The like they say, the boss fight was weird. When you go underground, and I feel like I was going underground in that tunnel for about 7 weeks. I was down there. It took a long time to get to the bottom. And yeah,
Yeah, reverse Metal Gear 3 ladder.
yeah, and the end was just weird, man. That's the only. I know that's not a good descriptor, but it's the only thing I can think really to properly say. It was just odd when it all came together, and I was just like, "What is this? What is this?" When you're standing like watching a final cutscene, you've been trying to rescue your sister for the past 6-7 hours, and then she just goes and strangles her and runs off crying into the woods.
Yeah. Like I like it's it's kind of like the Silent Hill F one, isn't it, as well, where it's
They're
like
never happy
the main ending
endings.
is like,
Yeah,
well, she took too many pills and killed everyone at her wedding. This one, you kill the sister that you've been trying to protect the whole time. I quite like that it's not a happy ending. I think that's
yeah.
quite cool. Apparently they added more in the Wii version, because I think you said earlier it's got the most of the endings of all of them. They added a couple more in there because apparently initially the director sort of said like, can we have a happy ending? And they all sort of, I guess other people in the team, the writers and stuff, pushed back and was like, no, come on, mate, don't have a happy ending. So he's like, okay, something's in between happy and what we actually did. So I think they do have some better ones there, or at least with a bit more closure that you'd actually feel you'd earned, rather than just it taking away all the effort that you've done to then just kill her anyway at the end of it. I think the story's actually it's got all these like underlying things around like the ritual and the history of the village and what happened in previous times that has some cool stuff to uncover. But I think in the mean, it's actually quite easy to follow. It's quite clear that you've been lured there with your sister to redo this ritual that they fucked up. And it's very clear that your sister is being possessed by this ghost and sort of being coerced to going back and taking part in the ritual herself.
Yeah, and they even sort of do little Chekhov's guns in the fact that the whole way through the game, your sister's saying things like, "I'll forgive you no matter what you do," and stuff like that. And I was like, "Oh, have I?" Because I was at the point I was like, "Oh, Are we actually going to be like ghosts ourselves?" And I've already killed her, but no, it turns out that you were about to kill her, and that was probably the possessed ghost speaking through her or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because she seems to be leaving behind these diary notes where she's just fully embodying Sai, just writing as if she's her this whole time.
Yeah.
That was one of the more confusing elements of it. It was a good driver to get through the places.
Absolutely.
And it kind of you're kind of learning. Each house in the town sort of has a function. I guess the family who lived in there had some role to play in like the ritual or whatever. So there's reasons for you to be in these houses. And most obviously the Kurosawa house, which is the what's the word, like the ritual master of whatever it was, like the ceremony host or whatever it was. He was obviously there. I enjoyed the fact that there's a Kiryu house and a Tachibana house, two characters from Yakuza 0 that I found very weird that they were both like named places in this game. I don't know what else to talk about now. What have you got? Any other notes?
It would be silly to not at least mention the funniest boss fight in gaming history. The lady that falls headfirst down the stairs over and over again.
Oh yeah. Oh, the falling lady. Honestly, I guess that's actually supposed to be quite horrible when you think about what's actually happening. I guess she's been pushed down some stairs or whatever by, I guess, her partner or whatever. But it's just so funny. The noise she makes while falling is too comical for some reason. She just proper splats.
She's properly splats over and over again to the point that you're just looking for the splat so you can take her picture.
Yeah, and she doesn't really cause, like, she's not that much of a problem as well to take a picture of because she's just sort of lying down. So she's
nothing really.
She's spread herself so easily for you to take a picture of, and she's really slow because she's just fallen down some stairs.
There's another
over and over again.
Boss fight that is like almost literally the ring that she like crawls out of the well.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, this
out
is
of a box.
Yeah,
that you've also already watched on a video doing it before you actually see her do it in real life as well. On a projector screen, anyway.
It sort of hit me that there about like different horror themes in Japan that I have sort of experienced through different areas, but never realized it must have been a cultural thing. So like, there's shrine maidens everywhere. I've never heard of it. Up until Silent Hill Hef, I'd had no idea what a shrine maiden was, but I feel like I've just been encountering them all the time over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, all over Aberdeen now.
Yeah, it's everywhere. A little bit of a piece like that, like rituals and. Yeah, it's Japanese horrors probably piqued my interest through the last month of playing these two horror games. So maybe I need to go and find some Japanese horror to watch. I must have watched. I've definitely watched some. I'm just trying to remember now off the top of my head which ones I have and haven't seen.
Yeah, anyway. I need to go back. Yeah, I think the best sort of artistic part of this game to sort of that helps punctuate the sound design, which you've already said earlier on, is it's like incredibly unsettling and again discordant, horrible. Very few areas of, if even any, have anything that could even be remotely called music in this game. It's just noise most of the time, but the way that they cut together like a black and white sort of flash cut montage of horrible shit that's happened in the past really quickly where you can't quite make out most of it is almost unrivaled. It's so horrible how they do that in this game. Just it's always like subliminal interspersing horrible shit over everything that you're doing. I think they did that so brilliantly. And in the Wii version they actually do it slower and they gave more sort of time to certain parts of it to, I think, make it more obvious what you're seeing. But I found it so much less effective than what was in the original version, because that had this sort of element of like mystery and like what was that, like what happening there, is that coming for me? Whereas the Wii one, it's a lot slower and it's trying to almost explain itself to you a bit too much. I think there's a bit of a misstep there, but it felt like something from player feedback where people were like, what is going on in all these things? I can't make any of it out. But I liked that element of it because I thought it was just so well done and so horrible to look at and listen to. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, like I say, I think overall it's a game that's not without its problems, but it's a game that sort of is fun despite them. And it's got enough in there that I'm glad we have finally got to it, because I feel like Fatal Frame 2 has been a game that has been sort of hanging around our orbit as long as we've been podcasting.
Yeah, me especially. Yeah. I've owned the PS2 game since I was at uni, so and I just got too scared to even start the second one. So I'm glad we forced ourselves to do it. And I really want to. I think I'm gonna hack my Wii U. I think I'm gonna hack it to start getting hold of some shit on there, because I really want to try the Wii U one, because you use the gamepad as the camera in that to take the pictures.
Brilliant.
So I feel like that's got to be one of the best uses of that gamepad if it works properly.
Yeah. Has to be.
Yeah. And I'm very excited for the remake of this. A really good remake of this. I think it's next year. Hold on, let's see.
We'll need to, as long as it's not horrible, i.e., like getting
early 2026.
Yeah, we might have to swoop back around and mop it up.
yeah, I think we should do that. Yeah, sort of. Well, if we're doing it in sort of early 2026 and it is actually coming out, then it should be fresh enough in our minds
Fresh
to
enough that we know.
piece the things together, but not so fresh that we don't want to fucking do it again, like right away.
Yeah, it depends what
So that
kind of
should be
remake.
good.
Remakes have got are going through an interesting period at the moment. I mean, mainly thanks to Resident Evil, right? I mean, there's the remake that is just the shot for shot remake, and then there's the remake that is taking some artistic license. In fact, it's not even just Resident Evil. Japanese development across the board is doing it. Like obviously the Resident Evil games have done their remakes. Final Fantasy are doing their Final Fantasy VII remakes at the moment, which are sort of the artistic license remake. I feel like
Yeah,
the original
yeah,
Final
that's putting it
Fantasy is
mildly.
just more of a guide than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool, interesting time for remakes. To say that for the third time.
Yeah, it does look. I've seen a
Silent Hill 2 is probably
screenshot.
somewhere in the middle, right? It's very nearly
Yeah,
shot for shot with a couple differences.
I haven't actually seen it in this video here, but I have seen a screenshot that someone's taken where it does look as if the remake is going to be over the shoulder. So I think we can expect it to get the sort of Resident Evil remake treatment. But just this is so close to being. I mean, I think for its era, this is one of the best horror games of that generation. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Resident Evil in the PS2 era until certainly on the PS2 until Resident Evil 4 came out was really not hitting on all firing on all cylinders with the two Outbreak games that had come out there.
Yeah, when did this come out?
2003.
What did we have? When was Silent Hill 2? When did that come out?
2001.
Okay.
So I think it's in terms of like a pure horror game. I think those two are right up there for that generation. And you got the Resi games,
Absolutely.
the GameCube ones, but they are some of them feel a bit more actiony. Like I wouldn't class Resident Evil 4 as one of the greatest horror games of the generation. It's just a different kind of beast, and it's just an excellent game in general. But this really does stand out. This is like a classic for a reason, and a remake of it could well be like one of the best games of next year if they
do it properly. Do you know who's doing it? Because Tecmo, are they still a thing?
Yeah, because they still do the what do you call it? Dynasty Warriors.
Do they? Okay, so they're of that.
So Team Ninja are doing it. So they are the.
That's a very good development team to be on that.
Yeah.
Try and look and see.
It's got a complete overhaul with improvements to everything from visuals and audio to the core gameplay systems and controls. The signature camera obscura mechanic used to capture and fend off spirits remains a key feature, now offering richer and more engaging gameplay in both exploration and combat. In addition, the new holding hands with Mayu mechanic adds a heartfelt touch, letting you experience the deep bond between the sisters like never before.
Tecmo have really been all over the place with their games. They've got something called Captain Tsubasa.
I've played that.
Run of that. What kind of games are those?
They're like cinematic football games, kind of Mario Strikers style. It's based on that anime that's really popular. I was hoping that game was going to be more fun than it is.
I have read somewhere. I'm gonna have to fact.
This is the first Tecmo game we've ever covered on this podcast, as far as I'm aware.
It could be, yeah. Then they went on to do like I say, they did. So they did like a football story game. Then they started running on a run with Dead or Alive. Appears to be. Oh, that's published.
Dead or Alive is brilliant, by the way. Those are some of the best beat 'em up fighting games around, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Even if they are just about big tits.
And then they did the Fatal Frame games. Then they moved on to something called Gallop Racer, which seems to be horse racing. They've been all over the place. J-League, Go.
Okay.
Sega Saturn. There's one for you. They did Monster Rancher. Interesting. Yeah, this company is all over the shop.
Yeah, they're an interesting developer, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're either like sort of not typecasting themselves, but very, very much sticking to their bread and butter or doing something totally wild.
Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just listing
Well,
games
he
at this
died
point.
recently, didn't he? Did you
He
see
did.
that? Did you see that? Like that was basically announced because he'd made a Facebook post and then just told someone to post it for him after he died.
Oh my
And he was
god.
like, "Oh, if you're reading this, then I have died." Like, it's fucking mad.
Wow.
Yeah, that guy he's a character. He's a quirky dude, but he made some shit hot action games. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Apart from that one he did on Wii U, Devil's Third was it?
Oh yeah.
Apparently, just utter garbage.
Jeff Gerstmann spoke quite a lot about him on his most recent podcast, or
Oh,
maybe
did he?
yeah. He said that I'd just met him a couple of times, and he was a guy that seemed like a really good dude. Cared deeply about video games. Cared very deeply about his own video games. Perhaps thought his video games were better than they were a lot of the time, but
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
it's his thing, man. That's you gotta
Did
love your own creations, don't you?
I assume he didn't have any part to play in Project Zero? No, it doesn't look like it. Like I said, it was Makoto Shibata who was the director of that, whose only sort of game of note that I really could even see much. He was a tester, sorry, on Mega Man Legends before this, and he also worked on Chameleon Twist 2 on the N64. And then, yeah, Gallop Racer 2001. And he's basically just all he's done is Project Zero games, and then wrote the story for Neo. Although he was originally the game's director, and then I guess he wasn't in the end, so they didn't credit him for that.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it'd be good to. Well, we'll definitely play the remake, but I'd need to see what the thoughts around, like the general thoughts are around stuff like the Maiden of the Blackwater game. See if that's worth us playing for another Halloween special 1 year. What did that get reception wise? Oh, it seems to be sitting at around a 6 out of 10. That's not good.
No.
Well,
no, indeed.
Kudos to them for continually trying to revive this anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. If my reading of the Winners Compendium of Madness is correct, next we've got a 1995 draft, potentially, depending on people's what they're free. And we're also looking to cover the PS2 launch lineup, which I assume is giving us a month's run up to cover Cyberpunk 2077 in December.
Exactly.
So it gives us time to play that and let it breathe.
Yeah, we were talking about doing all the Rare Replay, like ranking all of Rare Replay as well to celebrate their 40th anniversary.
How do we chip away at that? Because I feel like we'll just end up playing them at different rates and never be ready or prepared to line up at the same time. Becomes how do we work through this? How do we could even just make a list and pick 5 or however many, like break it up. I don't know. What do you think is the best way to do it?
Is there 20 games on there? Is that right?
I don't know. The only thing I did, I tried to look up Rare Replay to see if I could get it on Steam, because I thought the deck would be a good place, but it's only on Xbox.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Rare Replay.
Because I think some of those games you're probably going to need to play for like 5 minutes, and you'll know enough.
Yeah.
And then it's got shit like Jet Force Gemini and all that. That's just going to take ages. It's going to take ages.
There's something going on.
Which I don't even like it.
Rare Replay games list. And some of them we don't need. It's like apparently Banjo-Kazooie's on there. Don't need to play that.
Yeah, I don't need to play that. No.
So many times. Battletoads Arcade. I don't want to play that.
I'll give it a few minutes again, but
games list Rare Replay collection guide. So there are 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 30 games on there.
30?
Yep. Attic Attack, Banjo Nuts and Bolts, Banjo Tooie, Battletoads Arcade, Blast Core, Cobra Triangle, Conquer's Bad Fur Day, Digger T, Rock, Grab by the Ghoulies, Gunfight, Jet Force Gemini, Jetpack Refueled. So that's 3 Jet games. Cameo, Killer Instinct Gold, Night Lore, Lunar Jetman, Perfect Dark Zero, RC Pro Am 2, Saber Wolf, Slalom, Snake, Rattle and Roll, Solar Jetman, Underworld, Viva Pinata, and Viva Pinata Trouble in a Paradise.
Yeah, I do not want to play the Viva Pinata games at all. This is why told you it was a terrible idea. But we've definitely got a 95 draft coming up this year, which is going to be great fun. We've definitely got the PS2 launch lineup, which has got some really interesting stuff for us to play in there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. PS2 emulator that I've been futzing about with, I've sort of gone through all the games I've got there and put the artwork and things on. And it just looks so nice when you've got it all. It's just so satisfying to look at.
This is going to be good stuff for Retroid as well.
Yes.
That pod. Stuff. We've got stuff like, a couple of puzzle games, Aqua and Fantavision. I've never even really heard of either of those. You've got Dynasty Warriors 2.
I've played that recently purely because of the Retroid.
Is it good?
Rhythm-based fireworks game is the way to
put that. Okay. All right.
I'm sure they did a remake re-release of that game maybe about 5, 6, 7 years ago, because I've got a vague memory of Dan Reichert playing it on a Giant Bomb Quick Look.
But there must be a reason why you thought about it when you looked at the stuff on Retroid. We got like Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2. Yes. I remember liking that.
I had
FIFA.
That on N64 was where I played that game predominantly.
I think I had it on Dreamcast. SSX, International Superstar Soccer. You've got Gradius 3 and 4, Silent Scope, which is going to be interesting to play with a controller. Time Splitters, the original, which I've never played. I've only played 2 and 3. Ridge Racer 5, which I'm pretty certain is going to be an absolute banger. Smuggler's Run, Wild Wild Racing, and Tekken Tag Tournament. So we'll give those all a good old winner is you tier listing.
Yeah, looking.
And then Cyberpunk 2077 is our main game for the end of the year. It's just going to be our December, basically.
Pretty much.
Sitting down, cozying up with
that. And I'm actually glad we're
I can't wait.
I've wanted to play this for a number of years, and this is
me too.
This is just giving me the sit down and play it. So
exactly.
Rather than perpetually sit in the backlog, and we'll get to see what all the chat about Keanu Reeves is with this game.
You wonder if he is breathtaking on it or not.
We will see.
We will see
whether we like it or not.
Yep. And then if we can fit in some other stuff in the interim, then we can do stuff like that. We can maybe do some more gaming disappointments or another draft or something. Yes. But that's the main 3, maybe 4 if we do the rare one. But we might not do that because I think there's too many really long games in there that it might not be viable. The PS2 one just feels a lot more accessible. Everything in there feels really short. The longest game in there is probably going to be like Time Splitters or Dynasty Warriors, but you don't need to play that for more than a few minutes to go, oh, this feels disgusting, or this feels all right.
That's the thing. I think I've downloaded them on my PS2 emulator as well, because it's like, how do they control? Are they just at the wrong side of Halo Combat Evolved that it'll be difficult to play? I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah. I'm very interested because I know that Time Splitters 2 didn't feel very nice to control. I'm pretty sure you've got free movement of it, but when you aim, you stand still, which is really weird. That they got rid of that for 3, which is by far the best Time Splitters game.
Is that Future Perfect?
That is really good. I played that last year and really enjoyed it. But the first one, all I ever hear is, that game, had inklings of something good, but then the second one is where it sort of realized that. So I have no idea what to expect from the first one.
I'm interested to poke at those. Because I always think of Time Splitters, but I was thinking about it the other day, and I wonder if maybe the only one I've played is Future Perfect.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I'll need to look at some screenshots and remind myself. I may just be misremembering.
I'm very excited to play International Superstar Soccer.
Hell yeah.
Just to see.
Was that what we played? Oh, it wasn't on the PS2. What did we play when we were in Glasgow in that pub? That was an ISS game.
Yeah, so ISS 64.
Must have been 64. That was good. And you kicked my ass at Sensible Soccer, I think.
Yeah, but you kicked my ass at the NHL game. It was just 2K something or other.
Yeah, that was good. I like what an era for sports games. Anyway.
Yep. So that's going to be great fun.
And yeah, on that note, I suppose we've reached the end of another episode of the Urban Issue podcast. If you liked what you heard, and even if you didn't, why not give our numbers a bump by subscribing to our podcast on your podcast feed of choice, or if you prefer to consume your podcast in a visual format, you can head on over to YouTube and search for Urban Issue podcast, where you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for the wave, Alex. If the podcast isn't enough for you, the best place to get us these days is over on Blue Sky, at Thrillix for Alex, and at Super Smiley for me, and at Winner Issue Pod for us. If you're one of the youngins, we've also got TikTok, so head on over there for search for a Winners You Pod if you wish. Alex, any housekeeping?
Well, as we're on the Halloween episode, I would plug the Video Game Hall of Fame Halloween episode, which will have come out yesterday when you're hearing this on the 30th of October. But for a second year running, despite us having a spooky theme, I'm the only one who actually nominated anything remotely spooky.
It's been done.
So. Well, I mean, one of them nominated The Sims. I mean, it does have ghosts in it, but
yeah, you can, yeah. Used to do the old build a swimming pool, put your sim in the swimming pool, and pull the ladders away. Old job.
Yeah, some of like they do actually do some cool stuff with ghosts in those games, from what I could tell. Like apparently, your ghosts can get upset if their still alive spouse gets remarried or whatever. That's quite funny.
That is quite good. Yeah.
What else was nominated? Oh, fucking Pokemon. Because to be fair, my pick for Luigi's Mansion, I stole Rob's choice of Luigi's Mansion, so he went for Pokemon. Yeah, Ghastly, Gengar, Haunter.
Haunter, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and there's like the whole Lavender Town thing, where there's ghosts in that town, and there's lots of old early internet memes and creepy pastas or whatever you want to call it about that. And then the other game was Star Wars Arcade, because Obi-Wan Kenobi's a ghost in it.
Excellent. Excellent.
That was Steve doing that, this silly old bugger. I should win that, but on spookiness alone. But I think Pokemon's probably going to beat Luigi's Mansion.
And I know this is the wrong place, but Pokemon has really gone mental. Like, maybe they were always mental and it just never clicked before, but like, Trubbish is the one that always jumps to mind. He's just a bin bag.
Bin bag, yeah.
And then there's one that's just a light bulb, and like
this one that's a set of keys.
Yeah.
Someone just looked around their room and was like, "Oh, I'm feeling very inspired this evening. I'm not putting the bins out just yet. This is my muse."
Yeah, I guess. And on that bombshell, I've been David. He's been Alex, and we have been A Winner's You, and I'm out.
Keep gaming.